What's going on, everybody? We are back again. Another podcast, another week.
Another great day.
Yeah, another great day to be alive, man. So, getting it started off, MLB. Obviously, World Series going on. Tied up 1-1 right now. Like you said earlier, postponed Game 3.
Yep.
But it started out great. Game 1 with the 10 innings. Phillies ended up pulling that one out, so they got the one that they needed in Houston. So now it's 1-1, and games are in Philly.
Hey, let's go Phillies, man.
Hey, we're rooting for them, man. But yeah, so I'm hyped for the rest of the series because it's just good baseball being played.
Yep.
So some NBA stuff. Steve Nash, everybody knows. If you like NBA, y'all know the name. Obviously, he was the Nets head coach. He got fired today. And it's kind of been interesting since then. It's only been like 5 hours. But a very likely replacement is currently the suspended Celtics coach, Ime Udoka. So, but later on, so like an hour ago probably, I saw they did an interview with like the Nets GM or something, and he was like, no, we don't have our next coach. So, I don't know. But be on the lookout for that because it might be Ime Udoka. But I don't know how that would work with him being suspended right now. Like, he'd still be...
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know how that whole situation would work. But we'll see.
Yeah. Gotta love NBA. Alright, so NFL movement going on. Claypool gets traded to the Bears.
Hey, that means it's George Pickens' time, though.
Hey, it's George Pickens' time to shine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, George Pickens, watched on the field. They'll be alright. I mean, losing Claypool is kind of...
They've lost Juju and Claypool in the last 2 years. That's some big hits, but
yeah,
maybe they're just building for the future. I don't know.
Yeah, Roquan Smith goes to the Ravens.
I think it's a big get, too.
Very big get
Big
for the
loss
Ravens.
for the Bears, but...
Yeah. Tight end, Hawkinson goes to the Vikings.
NFC North, you know.
All
Keep it in
right.
the division.
And then Bradley Chubb goes to the Dolphins. I think this is huge.
That is major.
To just add more weapons to Miami.
Yeah.
Really, just making them more of a Super Bowl contender. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the AFC East right now. They're like, all right, Bills, y'all better watch out because they already got that first win over the Bills too.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's crazy. Hey, Dolphins, they're looking dangerous.
Yeah, sleeper team.
I think they got traded for like some picks or something. I didn't really see what the trade was, but crazy get for the Dolphins. Calvin Ridley, this was kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is
he
wild.
goes to the Jaguars.
Hey, I like it.
Wait, you like it?
I like that, but they say he's still gonna have to sit out the certain amount of time because he's betting or whatever. Right. But yeah, I think that's big because they got dang it, what's the guy's name that they got from the Chargers? You know who I'm talking about, the wide receiver? They just got him like this last offseason. They got him, so they're just adding more weapons for Trevor Lawrence. I think they're really just trying to build around Trevor because
really,
I mean, it just
even after the past season that he had.
Yeah. I was like,
but that might be because he didn't have help. But
they did trade away James Robinson, so it's Travis Etienne time. So, yeah, I think I'd like to see the Jaguars be good, just because I'm a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence. But I think it'd be cool. What do you think outside of Bradley Chubb? Because I think we would both agree that's the biggest trade out of all these. Yeah. Which one do you think is the second biggest out of these? Whether it's going to hurt the team that they left or be huge for the team that they're going to.
I would say probably Claypool to the Bears, just because everybody's leaving the Steelers. I feel like that. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just prepping for the future. And then on the Bears side of that, crazy get to help, Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's definitely huge.
And who else is the quarterback of the Bears? Is it Andy Dalton?
No, he's with the Saints now, I think.
Okay.
But
dude, he's been passed around more than...
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll leave it there. But yeah, that is a big get, especially for the Bears. But yeah, I'm just curious what the Steelers are going to do with like weapons that they got right now. They got Freiermuth, so he's good. But outside of him, it's just Pickens, really. Well, they got Deontay Johnson, too. So I guess they're kind of keeping them, too.
Yeah.
But so Kentucky basketball, we've talked about it a little bit. We've started the exhibitions. The last podcast, Kentucky hadn't played one. You all had played Michigan State. But since then, we've played ours. We won 56-38. Okay, so boring. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the game. My eyes wanted to shut. I was getting a little. It was kind of hard to watch. Yeah. But defensively, if you're a defensive mind, you love that game. Defensively, we absolutely shut them down. They couldn't even you could just tell they were getting aggravated. They were upset. Like So defense was huge. But offense, I think the amount of possessions that we had, too, with not having Oscar playing, because he's still just sitting out, I think that's a part of it, just not getting as many shots up. But Cal released a statement today that said, like, stay with us. The offense, he thinks, will be a little shaky. We're not where we're supposed to be yet. But it's not where you're in. It's not where you're at in December. It's where you're at in April, obviously. So
True.
There's some truth behind that. So I mean, I like it. But defense was the main emphasis going into that game, and definitely showed it. Offense struggled a little bit, obviously, but Severe Wheeler got hurt, so he left early second half, I think it was. They said it was the same knee that he aggravated like 3 weeks ago.
Oh no.
So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm sure if it's a good thing, they'll probably still sit him this next exhibition and then save him for the first game. But
Yeah.
Oscar will play in the first game. So, but Joe Lunardi, everybody who knows college basketball knows that name, the bracketologist. He says if he had to put all his money and his house on a team to win it all, it would be the Kentucky Wildcats.
And his house.
Yeah, he added that in there. So that's crazy. That's a lot of praise, though. I mean, with a lot of unknowns for this Kentucky team, a lot of transfers. Obviously, we get Severe and Oscar back, but outside of that, I mean, it's kind of bold to say you put your house on it.
Hey, Charles, come back here.
It is.
After what happened last year.
We haven't won a tournament game since 2019. Because
Wow.
2019 we lost in the Elite Eight. 2020 canceled the tournament. 2021 didn't make it because it was the bad year.
Yeah.
And then last year lost to St. Peter's. So
Yeah. When they went on their Cinderella.
Yeah, a crazy run. But so something crazy that had happened this past week. So a jersey got leaked on Fanatics, and it wasn't supposed to be.
On Fanatics?
Yeah,
Oh,
wasn't even
come on,
supposed to
man.
happen. They released black jerseys of.
Was it just like an advertisement on Fanatics or something?
I don't know. There might have been just a Kentucky fan searching or something, but they have the white ones on there already, and everybody knew that. But then there's a black edition, and so somebody posted it on Twitter, and then inside the athletic department, people were asking around, and they're like, "Yeah, those are real. They were not supposed to leak those."
That's crazy.
So somebody at Fanatics is getting fired.
Yeah,
but I think it's awesome because it's kind of like it's just a black version of what we've already got. But everybody says they look like Dukes, and I mean they kind of do. But like, what else are you supposed to do?
Black with blue.
Yeah.
Writing.
The only difference is their Duke is outlined in white, and our Kentucky's not. But like, you can only do so much with a black jersey.
I was about to say you can't really copy him.
Yeah, it's gonna look the same.
It's gonna look the same when your team colors are like
the
same.
same colors. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be sick though. I don't know when we're gonna pull those out, but I can't wait. But yeah, we play Howard. That's our first game. We play Kentucky State in an exhibition, and then we play Howard Monday the 7th in the first game. So
sweet.
Yeah, I'm hyped for this.
Getting hyped for college basketball.
Yes, sir.
Tennessee basketball. We had our exhibition game. We beat Gonzaga 98-80. Kind of a high scoring game. We won this without Josiah Jordan James.
Yeah, that's huge too.
That makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we look really good in my opinion.
Definitely.
Scoring that much. We played Tennessee Tech our first game Monday the 7th.
The season's right around the corner for both of us. But yeah, y'all winning that big without Josiah Jordan James is crazy.
Yeah.
And I've heard that your all's front court is unmatched. The big dude, he's foreign. I can't think of his name.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was there last year.
I can't even.
But they said he played really good in that game. I did hear that. So that's definitely good signs for you all.
So week 9, college football.
A good week.
Crazy week.
Yeah.
Brian Harsin was fired from Auburn.
Understandable. It's completely understandable.
Yeah, not having a great year, to say the least.
I believe they're 3-5 right now. So
yeah, he was 9-12 in the past 2 seasons with the Tigers.
Yeah. So I was going to bring this up. Have you seen who the favorites for the job are? There's 3 that are close in the race. So Hugh Freeze is the number 1 candidate right now.
Okay.
He's at Liberty. He's done a great job there. The number 2 candidate, Lane Kiffin. What would you think about Lane to to the Auburn Tigers.
That's probably he would do something like that because he did it to us. I wouldn't be surprised if he walked out on Ole Miss in the middle of the night and went to Auburn. It really wouldn't surprise me. SEC West team to another SEC West team, it wouldn't surprise me.
Do you think he might end up there though?
Dude, if he does, hey, great for him. I hope we play Auburn soon.
And then the third highest odds to get that job, Deion Sanders.
Wow.
Prime time. Yep.
Nah, I could see that.
I think I could see it too. I think Georgia Tech might be more like reasonable, but
Yeah.
because Auburn's a big step.
Deion Sanders.
That would be crazy if they took a
That
chance
would
right
be
there.
crazy.
I think he would do fine. Like, I mean, just from what we've seen, Jackson State was unknown, and I mean, Southern had ruled them for the last I think he said 6 or 7 years, and Jackson State's beat him the last 2 since he's been there. So
Deion Sanders would be like the reach get. What would
Yeah.
be your safe pick? The guy from Liberty or Lane Kiffin?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like if you can get Lane Kiffin, get him. Like you have to. Like you see what he's done at Ole Miss, and he's been there 3 years.
Yeah, something like that.
So I mean, in this year he doesn't have that like top 3 NFL quarterback. He's got a transfer Jackson Dart, and he's been able to do it with him. So I think that's the guy you throw all the marbles in. You're like, all right, we need him. But Hugh Freeze is probably a likely get. But I don't know. Who would yours be?
Yeah, I don't know. If Deion Sanders was willing to leave Jackson State, because I know he had all that praise and like really wanted to get Jackson State like high in college football and recognized, and he did do that kind of. Auburn needs to make a change, something new, because they used to be like a contender. Like
I liked it too because they give Bama a shot at the end.
Exactly,
of the year. Like, give them a chance
exactly. And I just think they need like a big change, because this is not an Auburn team everybody remembers.
No.
I would take the reach with Deion Sanders just to see. Hey, you've already had like one bad year. Like if it doesn't go right, then let him go. But
I heard that their last 2 firings have cost them $54,000 a day. Right now, that's how much they're paying on the buyouts.
They might not want to make the reach. That's crazy.
Yeah. That would be the only thing that would have me hesitant on it. Is just the buyouts.
Oh, because they have to pay out their contracts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'd be a little risky. But yeah. I've also heard Mike Leach is like the 4th guy. So I love Mike Leach. He's hilarious. He's the funniest guy in college football. But I can see any of those happening though.
Yeah. Michigan State. This is all right. I'm sure y'all have seen the video, but it was at the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like when the game ended. A Michigan State players in the hallway, like walking to the locker room, beats up a Michigan player. They basically jump him.
Yeah.
And there's a video showing of them on the field, and the Michigan player walks in the tunnel with the Michigan State players. And this is a big rivalry. Like these teams absolutely hate each other. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's it. The 4 guys, the main 4 got suspended, and I think they said Harbaugh is pressing charges on the players. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's like escalated since then too.
So who do you think's at fault here? I mean, you don't.
I think the Michigan State players probably. Like,
yeah.
I understand like you're upset, you just lost like a rivalry, but like at a certain point, like inside you've got to be like, all right, I'm not supposed to just beat the crap out of this human. Like,
well, we were talking about earlier, like what if like they hit him wrong time, because there was like in the video, dude, there was like 10 dudes just on top of him. What if like he would have really seriously got hurt?
Yeah, that could have ended very badly
or something.
But yeah, that game's gonna be crazy next year. I know that.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't know that they found the players' names and like could pick them out of the video of what happened. But
yeah, there was like 4 main guys in there now suspended for the rest of the season, and then getting charges pressed. So yeah.
That's crazy. Moving on. The Dirty Birds, as Cam likes to call them.
The
Louisville
Dirty Birds for sure.
Upsets number 10 Wake Forest 48-21. So, what did they beat them by? 27 points, 4 touchdowns basically. They forced 8 turnovers. This is their first win against a top 10 team since 2016.
It's Lamar's junior year. That's crazy. But yeah, I hate just whooping up on them every year. So it's good to see them have a little bit of light in their season because it won't. Look,
hey, you want them to be as best as they can when y'all go in there. And
nothing feels better than when we beat Lamar on his Heisman ceremony night. He's about to win Heisman. We go in there and beat
That's
them
crazy.
when they were ranked like. They were ranked like 10th.
They were
or
ranked
something.
high, yeah.
And they were 3 at one point that season, and then we were a 27-point underdog, and we went in there and beat them. So
crazy.
Yeah, feels good.
UCF upset Cincinnati 25-21. Cincinnati had won 38 straight games against unranked opponents until this past weekend, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The streak started in 2018.
That's insane. It's the whole time Desmond Ridder was there, basically.
Yeah. So. The lockdown corner.
Yeah.
That never allowed, what was it, never allowed
Sauce Gardner.
A touchdown pass on him?
Yeah, he never allowed a touchdown. They were insane for a long stretch. And, they're still good, but I think that's their second loss on the season. Yeah. So, man, Cincinnati's downfall, I guess.
Another upset, Missouri upset at number 25, South Carolina 23-10.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. They kind of snuck South Carolina in to the top 25, I feel like.
I agree.
I don't think they could handle the pressure. So,
I didn't really care who won that game because Tennessee, we still have to play both teams. Like I said, I always want teams to be as best as they can before we play them. Yeah. Because it just looks better. But yeah, crazy. I didn't expect Missouri to beat South Carolina, but hey, like you said, South Carolina might not be able to handle it.
Yeah, they might not be able to.
Notre Dame upsetted number 16 Syracuse.
They're just a week full of upsets.
41-24.
That's a big win for Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
They were talking about they've lost to Marshall. They've lost to Stanford this year. They've lost some bad games, so I think that kind of gets players bought back in and believing in themselves the rest of the season.
Syracuse, they've dropped 2 games now, right?
Yep. They were unbeaten going into Clemson, and then now they've dropped Clemson and Notre Dame.
Yep.
Some of the bigger games this last week, we talked about it a little bit. Southern at Jackson State. I chose Jackson State 52-31, and you chose Jackson State 44-31. So we both had high praise for Southern apparently because Southern went scoreless. Jackson State won 35-0. It wasn't even a bad game from Southern. I watched a little bit of it, and they were able to move the ball. They just couldn't get in the end zone. So Jackson State's defense played great, and then they had Jackson State had a running back that played very well. It's something Wilkerson Wilkerson was his last name, but he played very well that game. He had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. So he's getting
looking like Christian McCaffrey out here.
Exactly. So number 2 Ohio State went to number 13 Penn State. Yeah. This was a crazy game. We both said Ohio State.
Yeah.
I said 38-27.
I said 49-24.
Yeah, and the final was 44-31. So we both kind of had the right numbers, but Penn State for the most part of the game they dominated. It was 16-14 at half. Once that fourth quarter hit, something just clicked with Ohio State and they ran away with it. But JT Tuimoloau. This man went insane. This is one of the best defensive games I've ever seen. He had 2 interceptions. 1 was a touchdown.
Yeah.
1 tipped pass that went to be a pick. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble.
Talking about having the game of your life.
Yeah. That man.
That is crazy.
That one game just got him drafted. He could never play again.
Probably.
It was crazy. Yeah, he had that pick 6, and I was like, man. I didn't even know who he was at first. I was like, this 44 is going crazy. And then looked him up, and all over Twitter. Twitter was going crazy. But yeah, he balled out.
Yeah.
So the world's largest cocktail party. We talked about it last week. Number 1, Georgia versus Florida. We both took Georgia, safe to say. 44-27 was my final, and yours was 38-21. So Georgia won, but in the end it wasn't as so the first 4 drives for Florida were 3 and outs.
Yeah.
That's not a good start. But the final ended up being 42-20. Georgia defense showed a little bit in the end that they were not Georgia.
All of that.
So I think that's good hope for Tennessee. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, they showed they're beatable. Very beatable in the second half.
They kind of slipped up a couple times this year against different teams. Was it Missouri and somebody else? Kent State, I think.
It was might have been Samford. They won something like 33 to nothing, but like it was like it's a little close. But so number 9 Oklahoma State at number 22 Kansas. So Kansas State going into this was a 1-point favorite. We both took Oklahoma State. Okay.
Yeah.
I said 38-27. You said 38-28. So this was a team.
Hey, sometimes you're just wrong.
Sometimes you're just wrong. So I took Oklahoma State this whole season because I was like, that is going to be the 4th team in the playoff.
Yeah.
I said 1 loss to TCU ain't nothing. Like, that's fine. They'll win out. Safe to say they did win out. The final was 48 to nothing. Kansas State.
Crazy. Kansas State came ready to play. I mean, that's all I can say.
And they didn't even have Adrian Martinez. So they played their backup quarterback.
Yes.
But they couldn't have asked for a better start. They went up 28 to nothing to start the game out, like, early first quarter.
Came out, smacked them in the mouth. Yeah. Basically.
And, I mean, if you're that backup, you can't ask for a better first game.
I don't think Oklahoma State just even knew what was happening.
Like, there's no way. I watched a little bit of it, but that was... I just kept checking the score, and I was like, dude, they ever going to score? But, that was the first shutout for Oklahoma State, like, that they haven't scored since 2009. So, it's definitely a hurtful game. That's just pain. But, so I'm sure y'all saw the video of Gunnar Gundy, the coach's son, when he got in, and he was, like, shaking.
Shaking?
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure some of y'all saw that video. But, so then the last game that we talked about last week, number 19 Kentucky, traveled to Neyland Stadium and played number 3 Tennessee. We spent a lot of time talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
We both took Tennessee. I said I had my hopes up. There was a chance we could have won. I said 38-31. Tennessee used the 38-27. And once again, scores a little off. Mm-hmm. So the final was 44-6. We'll both spend a little bit of time talking about it. So I would argue that this is the most embarrassing loss that I've ever witnessed as a Kentucky fan. We've obviously been killed in the past, but being to where we are as a program right now and losing the way that we did is just pain. That's the only way to put it. There were some injuries early. I think it was first or second drive. DeAndre Square, our most important defensive player, was out for the game, and he also won't be playing next week, so that hurts. But the injuries set us back a little bit early, but it wasn't it was all right, we're still in this. So my biggest takeaway is the offense. Obviously, 6 points is just not going to cut it against any team. But I think the huge turning point in the game. So I think it was 13-7 or 13-6, and then it was third down. Tavion Robinson. I don't know what you would call that move, but he was kind of open, and it was a huge third down play. He was 20 yards downfield, and it just went straight through his arms. And I was like, man, you cannot drop that ball in this game. From that point on, y'all went down and scored, so it was 20-6. And then we travel back down, again, inside the 10, I think. We throw that screen pass to Dane Key, and he gets his welcome to the SEC freshman moment and gets rocked. And it flies up, nearly a pick six. And those two plays completely shut down. It felt like our offense couldn't do a thing after that. Mm-hmm. And it was those two moments were well, we don't belong here. We're not supposed to be in the SEC. So, those two, and that touchdown from Dane Key would have made it a one-possession game going into half. But, so then we ended up getting the ball back, and it's 20-6 still. We are able to stop y'all. And then going into the half, bad clock management. We obviously looked like we were trying to score, and then we looked like we weren't trying to score. So then we end up punting the ball, and y'all got the ball with 40 seconds left or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's too much time for this offense. They're going to score. Y'all obviously scored. When it's 27-6 at halftime, it's over. It don't matter who you are. You're not coming back. 20-6 is manageable. You can do something with that. 27-6, it's that's a whole nother league. So that was bad. Horrible on the entire offense's part. I mean, there's been a lot of times that we'll be able to run out the ball or run out the clock and just in the half, but we did not there, and so that hurt. But the biggest thing that a lot of people were taking away from this is some of the Kentucky fans at the game were able to notice that Tennessee players could call out the play that Kentucky was running based on formations, and obviously that's not going to work if that happens in middle school. or high school or
That happened
any.
our senior year in high school football
Yep.
playing Old North Hardin.
Yeah, North Hardin did that. So yeah, obviously that's not going to work. You can't. There's no offense that's going to be able to beat somebody if they know what you're running. So that's Rich Scangarella's fault, in my opinion. That's the offensive coordinator, because if your offense is that predictable, then
Yeah.
you don't belong calling plays. Yeah, so it was just disappointing. Going into that game, you all had the 130th out of 131st pass defense. And I didn't even know that. But there was one pass that we completed over 6 yards that whole game.
Wow.
So safe to say we didn't attack. Like, I think that's the Tennessee's only weakness, in that we didn't even attempt to make something happen. So Will Levis had 16 completions. If you break those down, he had 98 yards, and that's awful. We'll just leave it at that. But out of those, there was 11 were completed behind the line of scrimmage. So that's embarrassing. And then 5 were under 6 yards, and then the 1 over 6 yards. That's just like, you don't even want to win at that point. Like,
It sounds like they didn't take enough shots downfield,
Yeah,
like play
definitely
calling
not.
wise. Like y'all didn't, like, I don't know.
there was only like 2 other than that one catch that I remember where we went downfield. And like, it was just aggravating because, like, obviously y'all have some good DBs, but like, if we're not even going to attempt to make a play, like, what's the point of even showing up?
Right.
Like, just go home at that point. So yeah, in that game, that was the worst game I've ever seen Will Levis play. Obviously, I've seen him 2 years now. At Georgia last year, high stakes, number 1 team, or number 2 team at the time, he performed. That's where he balled out. That's where he built his draft stock up. And then, like, LSU last year, he played well against Tennessee last year. And this was the first game where I was like, man, he couldn't have played worse. Like,
Yeah.
So he had 3 picks total, I think. 2 were his fault. The one was the Dane Key, like, that's not his fault. He put it where it's supposed to be.
You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much, like, but the other 2, one was a underthrown go to Dane Key that was picked off. So that's just a bad throw. And then one was like a 10-yard hitch that he just missed the receiver completely, threw it to the left or something. And y'all picked that off. So yeah, those 2 passes were definitely rough. But I feel like he just didn't have the chance to do anything. Like, other than the first drive, he just looked uncomfortable the whole game. Like, you could just tell something was off with him. And yeah, I think we just dug ourselves a hole, and then at a certain point, whether, like, you can just tell a team just gives up.
Yeah.
Not like they're just not showing up, but like, at a certain point we just gave up. But an NFL draft analyst said NFL scouts are having a hard time evaluating Will Levis because the play calling is so much worse than last year. So last year we had Liam Cohen, and this year we got Rich Scangarella. So if that doesn't say anything about how bad the play calling's been, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, that's crazy. NFL analysis said that.
Yeah. So if they're saying that, then I don't know what we can do at this point. But Mark Stoops today, he said, this is on the offensive struggles. You certainly better look at it, and you better address it, and you better get it fixed, or you're not going to last. And so I think that's him just saying basically he's going to.
Your offense coordinator's on the hot seat now.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat. And I've been saying that for a while. I said early on I was like blaming it on the offensive line. Now it's like offensive line was fine. I don't think there was even a sack in the first half. Y'all got a couple in the second half, I know. But
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Definitely
one in the
more
first
in the
half.
second half.
Yeah, so it's not even the offensive line fault. Like, it's just play calling, and it's just embarrassing. Like,
Yeah, I know. When I was at the game, Mark Stoops, he was furious. He was hot.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
And I thought he was gonna have a stroke almost. Like,
It felt like
he was like running on the field, like screaming. Like you could tell he was aggravated.
and honestly, I don't think. I mean, other than maybe his early years, there's never been a time we've been blown out. Like we've our defense has been able to compete in every game. It's felt like so far, but in that game, I think it felt like we just didn't even try on first down. Didn't even try on second down. It was like a trap first down, like zone second down. Then it's like 3rd and 8, and we're like, oh well, we got to throw it now, so let's throw a screen. And like it just felt like we didn't even want to like have a chance to win that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but share some of your thoughts after my rant.
Alright. So some of my thoughts. Tennessee, man. How about our defense? You know, I feel like people are getting, like, supposed to be expected for our offense to score. We should score with our high-powered offense, but I know some talk has been the struggle with our defense, and like you said, our pass defense, our rush defense is great. I think we're like second in the nation or in the SEC for rush defense right now. But yeah, the pass defense was definitely a concern, and that's what I said in the previous podcast. I said we gotta, make y'all run the ball and not have Will Levis basically dart us up, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, we now have 16 forced turnovers and 9 interceptions total this year for defense.
It's good numbers.
That's ranked number 1 in the SEC for both, for forced turnovers and interceptions. So that's just great news for the defense. Jalen Hyatt, he continues to impress. He had 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. I feel like we do it, everybody, and how we start so fast offensively in games is because we'll throw those quick screen passes, because we line up so quick. And then, I feel like DBs just get to thinking, oh, here comes the screen pass again. They've ran it 3 times in a row. Then we run that wheel route or the, whatever it's called that Jalen Hyatt runs, and he's open every time. There's never a dude within, 10 yards from him.
Yeah, and with that, I think that was just, both of those were the safety's fault because in both of those situations we were in zone. It wasn't in man.
Yeah.
We had a linebacker out there that was covering the inside receiver. And so the way that y'all were running it, it was kind of like slant fade. It looked like it. So that, inside that linebacker would, take the outside. But once he got behind him, it was supposed to be the safety's job. But it felt like the outside guy was running the post, and then the safety was
yeah, we
confused.
find that they throw it, Hendon Hooker, throws it right between that gap between the safety and then the DB.
It's the easiest read in football, because the safety's got to make a decision.
Yeah.
He's giving up a touchdown on a post or a wheel. So
right.
I think it was just kind of a breakdown between mental errors and just the defense as a whole. I don't know.
Yeah. Offense is great play calling the whole game, in my opinion. Defense really showed out. Jalen Hyatt moved up for the Heisman odds. Hendon Hooker played a great game. Clean game, 3 touchdowns. He was 19 for 26, I believe.
Yeah, he played very well.
No interceptions. Just a very clean game, just like how a leader should play. He's still sitting number 1 for Heisman. And a big shout-out to performance during the game was Jalen Wright. He had 7 carries. I feel like he should have got some more carries because, dude, he was playing so hard. He had 73 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he played good.
Yeah. It was taking 3 and 4 defenders from Kentucky to take him down because he was not going down on first contact. He was kind of running Chris Rodriguez almost. But we moved to 8-0. We're now ranked number 2. We've now beaten 5 top 25 teams this year.
That's good.
That's
numbers right there.
crazy. I don't even know if anybody else is near that. I just feel like that's insane. I feel like that says a lot about our team this year. But yeah, really great game against Kentucky. I was really worried about your all's defense with our offense because.
And I think our defense, if you take away, obviously you can't just take them away, but those 2 huge plays, the 2 just wheel or whatever it was, Jalen Hyatt, it's 2 the exact same plays. But if you just take those away, you've got 30. Mm-hmm. And 2 of your drives, because of how awful the offense was, started inside the 40. And 1 started on y'all's own 10.
Yeah.
So I was the defense can't do much at that point.
Right.
And I was you're not going to stop Tennessee from scoring. But
yeah.
I think the defense was fine. But at a certain point, they're on the field longer than our offense is, so they're just getting worn out.
But yeah, just a great game all around for Tennessee. Now we move on to playing Georgia next week. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's going to be game day for the 3rd time for the Vols this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's just unheard of.
It's got to be one of the most in a season.
It's got to be. It's probably program history, honestly. But
it's definitely the most this season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 11 games straight with 30-plus points scored. The streak continues for the Vols. That's now I'm pretty sure they said it's an NCAA record now and program record.
Really? Yeah, going into that, there was a lot of like Kentucky, like there's a lot of people like on websites and stuff, and they were like, Tennessee's going to get their 30, but because they were accepting, like we had that streak of holding opponents under 24. They're like, that streak's ending. They're just being honest, and Tennessee's getting the 30. It was just what the offense did, and obviously the offense stayed in Lexington.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was a great game from Tennessee, and like going into it, I was skeptical about y'all's pass defense, and I was like, man, that might be where Georgia gets you all.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's got me hyped up for you all to play Georgia.
Yeah,
because that definitely like calmed my.
I think we know that our pass defense needed work, honestly, and maybe
I think it was a focus
during the game, y'all's offensive coordinator saw that we switched something up and didn't want to, take chances. But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Just a sorry performance from Rich Scangarello. I know that.
Yeah.
So, going into Week 10, we've got 5 huge games again. So, in the ACC, number 20, Wake Forest goes to number 21, NC State. Wake Forest is a 4.5-point favorite. Who do you like in this game?
I'm taking NC State. 38-28.
Think they get back on the winning train?
Yeah. Yeah, I really do. Wake Forest, just, wow. I was just not impressed. I always kind of thought Wake Forest was a little
fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fraud.
That's a good
ACC, not really tough schedules. I mean, you got Clemson and people like that, of course, but they don't really play the competition that SEC plays. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So in that game, I'm taking Wake Forest mainly because how they got killed last week.
Yeah.
I think it's like there's just something in them that's like, all right, we're getting back on this train. But yeah, y'all know I'm a big fan of Sam Hartman, so I'm taking the Demon Deacons 45-37. So the next game in the SEC, number 6 Alabama goes to Death Valley and plays number 15 LSU. Alabama's a 13.5-point favorite, but I'll be taking Alabama in this game. I'm going 41-30.
I'm going with the Tad. I'm taking Bama.
Yep.
41-21. I feel like this game could go either way. Bama, great team as always. LSU, they've also surprised and played.
They played very well.
Better than people expected as the season has went on. I feel like it could be really close. I still have Bama pulling it out though, but I could also see Bama pulling away with it.
Yeah. So then we've got number 5 Clemson at Notre Dame. So Notre Dame's not ranked right now, but Clemson's a 4-point favorite. So Notre Dame's getting their respect. Obviously, they beat Syracuse last week on the road, but I'm going Clemson, and I'm hoping that there's a lot of people that hate Clemson. I'm actually just kind of a fan. Like, I like Dabo, but I'm hoping they win this game and kind of smooth sail into the playoff, maybe. But I got them 30-24.
Mm-hmm. As much as I hate to say it, I got Clemson 28-17. I would like to see Notre Dame beat Clemson. I really would.
That'd be a big program win for Notre Dame. Just get them back on track.
Yeah.
So we got Kentucky at Missouri. Kentucky's a 1.5-point favorite. And apparently before the Tennessee game, we were like a 13-point favorite. So I don't know what they're... I don't know. But, so, I'm going Kentucky, though. I'm taking us 31-17. I think this is a huge game for us. Get back on track. There's been a couple, like, South Carolina game obviously was rough. And then this last week was, like, just hurtful game. So I think it's a big game. This is a make-or-break game for the rest of the season.
All right, so you all lost to South Carolina. They beat South Carolina.
Yeah.
But I think they realize that, kind of get over their head. I feel like y'all can put them back in their place. Even though the performance last week wasn't as good for you all, I feel like you all still have the defense. I feel like y'all just need to fix some things, like you said, with your offensive coordinator. Maybe get them out of there.
Yeah.
But 21-13, I got the Cats over Missouri.
Getting them out of there would not be. So then we got number 2 Tennessee at number 1 Georgia, and Georgia's at 8.5-point favorite. It's a little disrespect, but one key note for this game, I think the 2 best players for Georgia's Nolan Smith and Keely Ringo. That's from what I've watched, that's the 2 I think are best. But edge rusher Nolan Smith is out for the season with a torn pectoral muscle. So that's a big loss for Georgia.
Yeah.
So that'll, I mean, it's Georgia, so it's not going to be a huge drop down. But I think
It's still a starter that's not going to be there.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Tennessee. As much as you hate to see somebody get injured, it's giving Hendon Hooker some time. But so I'll go first, so you can give a little spiel on this game. So obviously both teams are hot right now. Both teams are very good offensively and defensively, and I think this is like a statement game. I mean, obviously Tennessee won in Georgia, 2016, so there could be a repeat. It could be something like that. I don't think this one. I think if y'all win this one, it's gonna be not a Hail Mary. It's gonna be something like y'all pull away, y'all win by like 10 or something.
Okay.
But just from watching both teams, watching Georgia and Tennessee, I think I took Tennessee against Alabama, but I think the road environment at Georgia and just how they handle home games, I think Georgia might be able to edge this one out. 41-34 by a touchdown. Y'all get your 30 though. Keeping it like that though. But if it gets into a scoring competition, y'all are winning no matter what.
That's kind of what I'm seeing from this game. I'm taking the Vols, man. 42-38. It might even be higher than that. I kind of want to say 52-48. Just up it by 10 points because it might be like the Bama game. It might be a shootout. I think it's just who can outscore who. And that's, kind of rare in the SEC because the SEC is known for the defense. But with the high-powered offense, I think it's gonna be a shootout. Hopefully it is. That's always exciting. I like that kind of football. But yeah, 42-38. Is there anything else I want to add to this game?
What do you think y'all got to make sure to do on defense? Because obviously they have their tight ends.
I was about to say, that is the biggest threat. That's what worries me, especially with how our past defense was. But it showed up against you all. So, maybe we fixed it, hopefully. But
I think the biggest thing that I'm going to take away from this game is, obviously, you said you've got a great run defense.
Yep.
Bama doesn't have the running backs they usually have. Georgia does. So this is a game that y'all can really show. This is a statement game if y'all can shut down. What is it? McIntosh. Who else they got? Kendall Milton. So they've got great backs right now. And
this game is going to see what we're made of.
Basically. Yeah, this is the test right here.
I know we said it. Like everybody's like, all right, they play Bama. This is going to be the test.
Yeah.
But like, we played good, and it's just how our schedule is. Like this is truly the last test to see what Tennessee's going to do. Yeah. And I think if we win this game, I think it really increased our chances to do something in the playoffs this year, to be honest.
Definitely. Yeah, this is the last. We were talking about it like stepping stones. It was like Bama, all right, Kentucky at home, like it could be a trap game. This is like Georgia. This is the pinnacle. Like, once y'all get here, it's kind of like I got Missouri, South Carolina, like Vandy. It's like whatever. But this is the third of the true tests for Tennessee this year.
Oh, a little fact, too. I seen something. The cheapest tickets to make this game
I saw that.
is like $560 for nosebleeds.
Before the fees,
That's before fees. I think they ended up saying like $800.
That's
right
crazy.
At $800 after fees. For one ticket.
And I've seen that stadium. You don't want to sit in those nosebleeds. I've been to that stadium. That's not where you want to watch that game from. You better watch it on your phone at that point. But yeah, I don't blame the tickets for being that high. Cause
crazy. I mean, number one, number two.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game. I'm excited. I like the competition. I like it. I like our schedule.
3:30.
3:30.
So, that's a huge game for both teams.
Yeah.
I think whoever wins that game, it's going to be like, all right, the smooth number one for the rest of the year. So,
depending how much we win by or lose by will depict if we fall out of the top four or not for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like, say it's a close game, we end up losing. I really don't think we'll fall out of the top four.
4 or 3. Or they might drop
at
you
most
to like
5.
Yeah, they'll probably put you like 5 just because the undefeated teams would be the top 4.
Yeah.
But they probably keep you all in front of Bama and then like to where you can get back in like easily. So
right. Yeah.
That's what.
And if we win, how do you think Georgia will fall? Do you think Georgia?
Since it's at home, I think they'll drop to like 6 or 7. It
depends
on how they lose too.
Yeah. Right.
Like Bama obviously dropped to 6 with losing at
on a
field goal.
Right.
If y'all beat Georgia by double digits at their home field, they'll drop to like 8 or 9 or something. So yeah, this could shake up a lot of stuff this week. This is the final week that's like, all right, we'll see what this top 4 is like. And then obviously Ohio State's got Michigan later on in the year. But Clemson will also play South Carolina. That could be a better game than what a lot of people expect.
Yes.
So,
yep.
I don't know. It's going to be crazy from here on out, though, definitely. So, you got any last things to say?
Vol Nation, travel well. Stay loud for this game. I'll be watching. If we win, I'll probably cry, to be honest, because not really worried.
I'll be texting you right after the game. So,
yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I don't blame it. So, Kentucky, man. Go Cats. Get a big dub on the road this weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in once again to another podcast. Y'all be safe. Have a good week.
See ya.